let's say I start this trick by showing the spectator I have one card that's going to help us out. In this case, the Ace of Diamonds. We can leave this card right here. So now with the spectator, if I had a spectator, all I would instruct for them to do is call out stop as I start sliding cards off like this. Let's say they call out stop right here. The here is going to be your card. Go ahead and remember this for me. And the spectator could even sign the card and then place it back. And I would just show them one more time their card. So after the spectator has remembered their card, we can go ahead and give the deck a few cuts. We're going to see if we can use this Ace of Diamonds to help us. So we're going to place it face up on top of the deck, and all the spectator has to do is cut the deck anywhere they would like from my hand to the table. So let's say they cut the deck like this, and then we can complete the cut. If the spectator wants to cut the deck, they can do it again. It doesn't matter. And let's say one more time. So now, if I snap my fingers, that Ace of Diamonds is going to find your card. So if we actually spread out the deck, you can see that there are actually two cards instead of one. Okay. Well, in this case, it happens to be the Ace of Diamonds, which was our card, and the Ace of Hearts, but it has one card in between it. So for the first time ever, I would ask the spectator to name their one card out loud. Let's say they do that right now. And I would show them the King of Spades. So I hope that was your card. And if you would like to learn how to do this effect, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. So before we even get into the effect, in case you're wondering about the deck I'm using, these are the Avery playing cards, and I think these are either the black or the blue kind. I'm not too sure which color, but there is another kind that might be the yellow. But either way, I'm going to leave the deck review of both of these Avery decks down below in the description so you can check these out. So now it's time for the trick. If you watched my last video, you should remember how I mentioned that for my next video, which is this one, that I was going to teach an easier way to do this trick, and this is that easier way. So if you didn't check out the last video, because I did teach you the original way to do this trick, I will leave that video down below in the description. But for this trick, all you're going to need to do is you're going to need a setup, and you could do this impromptu. So I guess I can show you at the end how to go about that. But what you're going to do is you're going to have any two of a kind. So in this case, I chose the red aces because of the last video I did the black aces. But it doesn't matter. So you're going to have one of your aces on top, let's say the diamond, and the other one, the heart, face up on the bottom. And this is going to be your only setup. So you have one helper card face up at the bottom of the deck, the other helper card face down on top of the deck, and you're all set. So starting off, what I do is I show that I have one card on top of the deck to help us. In this case, the Ace of Diamonds, and I leave it off to the side. And if you saw my last video, all the steps are going to be the same except one part, and I will show you what part that is. So, what you're going to need to do for this is you're going to go ahead and you know that ace is on the bottom. So you're going to start by swing cutting one or two small packets of cards. And I will leave a link for the swing cut in case you don't know how to do it. So after you swing cut a few packets, you're going to use your thumb and you're going to start peeling off cards onto the other packet. And they're going to call out stop. Let's say they call out stop right here. So with this hand, okay, that had the thumb to slide off the cards onto, you're going to raise up this hand and your thumb is going to push off the top card and show it to them. So like this. And they're going to remember it. Now they could sign it and place it back on top. You just need to push it off like this. And there's a reason why. And that reason is because when you bring your hand back down, you're going to be sliding back this top card with your thumb, and then you're going to have your pinky break. And that's what you're going to need, is actually a pinky break. Let's do that again. You swing cut 2 packets of cards, and then using your thumb, you start peeling off cards like this. They call out stop here. While raising your hand, you're going to be pushing over this card with your thumb, like this. You can show them the 7 of spades, they can sign it, and then they can place it back. You just need it pushed off, so when you lower your hand back down, you can pull it back with your thumb and catch a pinky break underneath the card. So now what we have is actually a pinky break underneath the 7. Okay, so after you have your break, you're going to take the rest of this packet and you're going to place it on top, which therefore places one of those helper cards right on top of that selection. So now you have a bigger pinky break. So now you're going to want to cut the deck, but if you cut anywhere from the top half above the break, this is going to lose your 2 cards in the middle, and you don't want that. So what you're going to do is just lift up from the break and cut to the table. Try not to flash the bottom. And then you can cut this half as much as you want. So, all the steps you currently saw is the same like the original effect, but this is now where it's going to be different, because for the original effect, once again, I'll leave the video down below, but you actually dribbled the cards and you had the ace thrown into the deck somewhere. But for this effect, in case you don't know how to dribble, remember, you can also riffle like this, and they can place it in anywhere near the top or the middle. But if you get near the bottom, just end the riffle. Okay, so that's another good way. So they can put it in here, here, even here. Okay, but if you get really close to the bottom, just end the riffle. And then proceed with the original effect, which I will link down below. So this is where it's going to actually be different, because this time, instead of dribbling, you're going to have the spectator place the ace on top, and they're going to cut it anywhere. And if you're really confident with them, you can have them complete the cut, just like this. But keep in mind, a few things could happen. You could leave that bottom card like this, which would really mess up the effect. You could even drop that ace, which would mess up the effect. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But something you could do is have it in your hand. They cut to the table. Then you trust them to lift up all the cards from your hand and then put it on top. It doesn't matter, because you just want to have the deck cut. But now you're all set, because that card is sandwiched. So now you can explain whatever you would like. You can recap the whole trick. You can do whatever. But when you snap your fingers and you spread out the deck, you can see there's one card in between the 2 red aces. And this card just happens to be their selection, the 7 of spades. And that is going to be the effect. Not too difficult of an effect. Let's go over that really quick one more time. Then I'm going to teach you a really quick impromptu way to get into this setup. So you're going to need any two helper cards. Let's say the two aces. The two aces. One goes on the bottom of the deck face up, and the other goes on top of the deck face down. Now you're all set. I start off by showing we have one card to help us, in this case, the Ace of Diamonds. So now I'm going to swing cut two small packets of cards. Then I'm going to use my thumb to start peeling off cards like this. Let's say they call out stop. So with this hand, because this has all the cards you actually peeled off on top of it, you're going to lift up your hand while using your thumb to push off this top card like this. So you can show it King of Diamonds. Now they can sign it, you can put it back in, you just need to have it like this. So now when you bring your hand down like this, your thumb is going to be pulling it back. Something you want to do while it's pushed off is take your pinky like this and curl it in, okay? So when you bring your hand down and you slide back that card, now you have a pinky break. Just be careful that no one actually catches you getting a break. But now you can place this bottom half on top for a bigger break. So now what you have is that selection and then that one ace. So now to cut the deck, you're going to lift up from the break and put it down. Make sure not to flash. And then you can cut this packet into as many packets as you would like. So let's say we do it this much. So the last step is actually taking that helper card, placing it face up on top of the deck, and then giving it a straight cut. Now you can have the deck cut multiple times like the performance. You just want to watch where that card is so they don't cut to that different ace like this. But I like it centered right around the middle. And now you're all good. So actually, I think this is going to be pretty close to the middle. So now what I do is I recap the whole trick. So I go over, we had a helper card, you selected any card, we cut it into the deck, and then you cut your helper card into the deck. You can snap your fingers, and when you spread out the deck, you can see there's your helper card, the ace, but here is the other ace, and one card in between the two aces just so happens to be their King of Diamonds. So that was the entire effect. I hope you really enjoyed it. In my opinion, that's the easier way of doing this, in case you don't know how to dribble. But the other way actually has a few more steps involved, so I will leave that down below in case you want to check it out. But really quick, let's get into the impromptu way of actually doing the setup with one card face up on the bottom of the deck, and then you can have the other card like this face down. So what you want to do is have the deck shuffled, and when you take it back, you're going to start spreading through, and you're going to show them all the cards are different. You're going to be eyeing really any two helper cards you want, like the two red queens, the two black kings, whatever. So let's say in this case, we do the two red queens. So I go through and I actually do the call. Now I'm not going to teach the call because I already have a video on it, but I will leave it down below. And I'm going to call both cards. Now I think I only got one card called. Nope, there we go. We have two cards. Obviously, make sure you're more confident with the call. I never do this when I perform this trick, but if you do it this way, make sure you're confident with your call, because you don't want to show this. So once you have your two helper cards on top, you're going to catch a break beneath the top card, okay? So I might go ahead and do a pinky count, which I will leave a link for, but you can riffle up the back. You're going to come over and you're going to do a double undercut, which I will leave a link for as well. So now you have one queen on top, the other queen on the bottom. So something you can do is you can start off the effect by showing them you have one card and you want them to examine it. While they do this, you can catch a break above the bottom card, whether it's a pinky count or even riffling from the back. But once you do this, you're going to do the half pass, okay? Now, I don't know how to do the half pass well enough to teach it, but really quick, I can show it because I am still practicing it. But essentially, once you have that pinky break, you can place your middle and ring finger in there along with your pinky. Index finger is curled, and you're going to lift up the deck slightly and angle it down. And all you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just extend these fingers out and then back in. And you want it squared up while you do this, but you don't want them to hear any snapping sounds like that. That's really a quick tutorial of the half pass. Make sure you look up a better tutorial. But now you're all set with your two cards. I will go over that whole thing one more time, just so you know what to do. This is just how I would do it. So you can show all the cards are different, and you can call any two cards you would like. Let's say here. So now the two cards are on top. So you're going to catch a break underneath the top card. You're going to cut it to the bottom. And then what you're going to do is catch a break above the bottom card. Okay. And then you can do your half pass. And I clip in between my pinky here just to square it up. But now you are all set to do the trick. So that was the video for today. I hope you really enjoyed this. If you didn't actually have a chance yet to enter the 300 subscriber shout out, make sure you do that while you can. Only 2 people have actually entered. So I will leave that video down below. I think at the time of this recording we are, I think, 283. So we're almost at 300. Make sure you enter if you haven't already. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye.